Kayleigh McEnany very much. The race to secure Washington, D.C., though, before the inauguration on Wednesday. Let's go inside that effort with Lieutenant Steve Rogers. He served on the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. He knows things about this stuff. He's also a former New Jersey police officer. So welcome, Steve. Appreciate you joining us.
Pleasure to be here, Carl. Thank you.
So, all right, this is, securing the Beltway for an event of this magnitude is its own soup sandwich. But tell us a little bit about what's going on and what are the key threats that they're worried about?
Well, to begin with, they are at this time doing a lot of information and intelligence gathering. Now, that would be through the internet sources. It would certainly be through human intelligence. So they're working on gathering as much information as they can, perhaps chatter over the internet, and trying to find out if there are any threats, not only domestic threats, but foreign threats. In addition to that, they've certainly, obviously, have increased a tremendous amount of manpower, both law enforcement and military, to ensure that there are no catastrophic events. Now, Carl, remember that during the incident we just lived through at the Capitol, I believe it was at the RNC and the DNC, there were pipe bombs found. So there's pretty bad actors out there. And these are bad actors that are not American patriots, they're not American citizens that go protest for a cause. These are bad people looking to take our government out. Yeah,
I mean, it's concerning that we can't have, that we need this type of security. We need tens of thousands of military troops on domestic soil. It spooks people a little bit. Now, we know Secret Service has made a what they call a green zone in the city. There's also restrictions on airlines and airports and you can't even check a firearm to fly into the area over the next week, which has its own constitutional implications. But what else needs to be done logistically?
Well, I've got to tell you, what has to be done, and I think we saw this as a result of what we lived through the past couple of weeks, there has to be an absolute increase in funding for police departments from local levels to the federal government. All we're hearing about from the Democrats are defund, defund, defund. Well, when you defund, you end up with the results we saw at the Capitol last week. When you increase funding for police, you're increasing intelligence and gathering information methodologies. You're increasing manpower. You're getting all the tools necessary to do what? To be proactive. What we're witnessing is a reactive response to something that might happen. So increase the funding, give the police the tools they need in order to proactively address this, and you won't need 20,000 troops out in front of the Capitol building.
Yeah, that's actually the whole interesting thing behind the defund the police movement is when you defund them, we don't decrease police presence, we just decrease the training before they go out there and are present. So real quick, we got about 15 seconds. Are you worried about more violence?
Well, I'm worried about more violence to the extent that we're going to have these nutcases go out there like they did last week. It has to be told, Carl, that what happened last week were not American patriots. The PTA moms and the soccer moms and the coaches came to exercise their right of assembly. So we have to concentrate on the bad actors and make sure that they're taken out of getting involved in these things before anything else. You got to be proactive.
You got to. Steve Rogers, we appreciate you getting up with us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you, Carl. Good to see you, by the way.
Likewise. Coming up, we'll go inside the